All right, what is up, everybody? I'm Coach Todd, and welcome to another STB Locker Room Monday Night Live. I'll be joined shortly by Coach Denny, but we are here every Monday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. U.S. time, USA, America time. That's what Denny says, America time. So excited about tonight. Honestly, I haven't been too excited about too many of these Monday Night Lives, especially not as excited as I am tonight. We got some good stuff coming. And so first of all, introduce yourself in the chat, please. If you're watching this on a replay, you're watching it on YouTube, say what's up, leave us a comment, follow us, whatever, all those cool things. We appreciate it. We love our followers, and hopefully that you get a ton of value out of the stuff we do. So the STB Locker Room community mission: empowering men to reclaim their energy, confidence, and focus through sustainable systems, accountability, and a brotherhood of support, helping them dominate in fitness, family, finances, faith, and fun, and become the unstoppable leaders they were meant to be. I was watching a thing today, and it said 99% of the people out there are drifters, and the other are doers. They're acting, they're taking. So if you want to beat 99% of the people out there, you just got to take action. So the foundation of the STB Locker Room is exactly that. We live by a code: do the work. You got to do the work. You got to act. Okay, win the day. Do the small simple things every day, and then just be relentless at it until you accomplish your goal, and then set new ones and just keep elevating week after week after week. So Coach Denny, you ready to roll? Not quite yet. Okay, I'll talk. Now you're ready? All right.
Yeah.
You ready? You ready, buddy? All right.
Yeah.
So we
Sorry,
got,
we had
yeah,
some technical difficulties there, but we're good.
it happens, right?
Oh, it sure does. I mean, we were good. We were talking fine. Everything was good a couple minutes beforehand. Then I'm like, oh, hold on. Everything went blank. So,
What's up, Roger? All right, dominate 2025. That's our word. Our one word for 2025 is dominate. It is May 19th. Yeah, that's crazy. It's already May 19th, right? So we're getting through it. So tonight we're going to talk about the STB Locker Room, where men over 40 reclaim their power, discover the who, the what, the how, the why, and when behind the most powerful men's community for building the body, mindset, and life you're proud of. So let's jump into it. Why we're here. So quick, I don't think we tell our stories enough, Denny. I know we tell parts of our stories, but for me, and Denny can come in on this when we meet, because we co-founded the Locker Room together, along with Tom and Caleb. Um, and so, but my story before that is I've been on this, and Denny hasn't. So that's the thing that I've been stressed, out of shape, tired, telling myself I'll start next week. I did the yo-yo stuff for so long. I tried the quick fixes: take this pill, take this potion, take this. You know, would I get some results? Absolutely, but they never stick ever, right? So, and it was a long process. I did triathlons. I did powerlifting. I did a lot of stuff, um, and never seemed to ever get anything to really just stick. Um, Literally, if it's out there, I've tried it. The one thing that I hadn't tried up to this point was carnivore. Done that now. It does work, but for about 30 days is about as long as we like to do it. And when I was going through this process, when I started figuring out kind of our what we coach, getting up in the morning, doing the work first thing, I started my journey almost 6 years ago to figure this out, and I was doing it on my own. Um, didn't have a lot of support, didn't have, and I was running a little program, and Coach Denny and I crossed paths. Um, and Denny's like, "Hey, what is this? Da, 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 da. Let's talk." And we just hit it off, and we're like, "How do we create something together?"
here. Why don't you kick back to that, and I'll share a little bit of my background, and then we'll
Yeah,
we'll bring it together. We'll
yeah,
take the A and the B, and we'll get there. So, For me, I've always been an athlete, and I've always exceeded at a higher level than most. So in any sport that I've done, and I've always, I've had great success in my life in a lot of different disciplines. And growing up as I was younger, I also felt like I realized that I was accepted, if I did good in sports. So there was a passion and there was a fuel, and I'm sure that added along to it. Over time, I always wanted to keep my body in good shape, so I was always kind of in a maintenance phase, where if I pulled something, it was just like, okay, all hands on deck. Let's get this figured out, and we're going to get this. Always want to get it back to where it was or better, and that was the only options. The doctors who say, "Hey, you should be able to walk again." I would never see that guy again, because that's not the guy I want to deal with. So over time, that's how I'd always, and I had major setbacks. I've tore things up in my knees over the Widowmaker at Kenworthy's. I've done all these different things, and I've always bounced back, and I've always made it bigger, better, faster, stronger. And that's it. Just have that no quit. This is how it's going to be, and I'll be damned if anything else happens. So we came from different
Yeah,
worlds,
absolutely. I had
but
a
we
kid. I
had the
had a kid at
same
yeah,
mindset.
yeah. I had a kid at 20. Then he had his at like 35. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we're
so,
like the odd couple from
yeah.
back in the day. I don't even know, but yeah, I think Stanley Roper was in there from Three's Company, but
But our
uh,
values align so much,
yes.
right? Especially with like where I was. Like, I'm like, how's this guy stay in the shape he stays in year round, and how come I can't? Right? Like,
Yeah.
because I could get in shape somewhat. I mean, it was still a round shape, but I couldn't get to where I wanted to get and stay there. Right. So I was in the process of this, creating this, and that's when Coach Shannon and we locked arms, and we said,
Yep.
hey, let's test. Hey Todd, can you try this? Try that. Hey
Yep.
Denny, what if we did this or that? And we just kind of put this together, and we ran it through. We brought in, we started testing it with guys. It worked, right? Like Caleb and Tom were, the first two guys to test what we were doing. This is before we even founded the
Yeah.
locker room, right? Like, and so we had a bunch of guys going through, beta really for us, and they've become like brothers to us.
Yes. And,
And
mad props to Caleb and Tom, because, without these guys, we wouldn't be where we're at today. These guys, they're the OGs as
yeah,
well. But
yeah.
yeah,
So
it's a
so
family.
we launched the locker room together. I believe it was January 1st of 2022. Still, and so all of 2020, all of 2021, well, I wouldn't say all. We kind of met at the end of 2020. So all of 2021, we're throwing stuff off each other.
Mhm.
We even got to the point where like, hey, let's just launch our own supplement company so that we know. Um,
Well, it was the reason why we did that was because along the way, we found out that as human beings, we're great at making excuses if we're not willing to do the work, or if we're just used to that pattern over time. And we found out that, we do these things without even our knowledge. It's just in program, we've programmed ourselves. So what we found was we needed to eliminate excuses for guys. We needed to make things easy for guys. So along the way, when people are like, hey, I'm on night shift, no problem, we got that. Hey, I'm on the road all the time, no problem, we got that. Hey, I don't have a gym available, no problem, we got that. So along the way, every time we found obstacles, we figured a way around that to make it, to the streamlined process it is today.
yeah, so that's when we discovered this system. We launched it. We officially launched in 2022. Josh, Matt, Kevin, Andrew, Sabo. I mean, lots of guys. Roger, Woody, all these guys that have become VIPs in our group have just had really awesome experiences. And so we're like, and we were doing it all basically through Facebook, emails, trying to master that little thing. So we finally just said, all right, let's create an app for our community and let's get this done, right?
Yep.
So that, each guy comes in, has the same, and we've been revamping the app over and over and over to
Yeah.
make sure that
It won't be the same thing it was 10 years ago. And
right.
landing the plane back then, what he's also saying is one of the talking points that you guys need to hear is the reason why we launched our own supplement company was one of the excuses and frustrations. And it wasn't even on the guy's part. It was on our part. We were just sick and tired of getting sick and tired of, man, why is this guy bloating up and then this guy isn't? And why is this and why is that? And then, it all came down to, well, this guy was getting 6-star, this guy was getting first form, or this guy was getting that, and some of the companies, they got some great stuff. And some of them have some stuff that's good, some stuff that's not, so we wanted to make sure that we could control that variable. And we know that everything that we have is legitimate. It's not going to cause bloat. And it helps us get you to where you want to go a hell of a lot faster, right?
Absolutely. And so through this, I've had a couple back surgeries. I had my knee replaced and thank goodness I had Denny and the brotherhood to help me through that. Like I could have ballooned up and said, hey, I'm done. You know what I mean? Like I have people still to this day, like, I can't believe you train every single day and you've been through what you've been through. And coming up on my third back surgery in 3 weeks from today. So you might be flying solo on the 9th, buddy. We'll see. Yeah. I'll be probably pretty drugged up in the hospital that night. But today, we're helping hundreds of guys per year. We're not trying to scale this to 1 million people. That's not our goal.
Right. Because it's out of our control at that point. Again, look at 1 million people. We're trying to build a business to where we make money, and there are negligible sacrifices that will happen along the way. And that would be you.
Yeah.
There would be some of you that fall through the cracks that we can never help. So it's just definitely not in our game plan.
So who is the STB locker room for, right? Men who want more out of life, not just weight loss. That was the thing that really took over, was that it was the mindset. It wasn't just the weight loss. Like anybody can do a 3-day water fast and lose weight, but did they actually change the mindset to keep the weight off, right? Anybody can do a 30-day program and, lose some weight, but can we get it switched over in the mind, right? So, it's men over 40 who feel like they've lost a step. Maybe guys who've, tried everything, basically keto fasting, and it just won't stick, right? Fathers, business owners, and leaders who want energy, strength, and confidence, right? Men who are tired of being just a paycheck or always last on their own list, always putting everybody else first, right?
Feeling guilty that you would put yourself first.
Yeah.
But if you don't put yourself first in some of these instances, what you'll find out is you will not be able to lead. And if you have children, they're going to be meek to the point that they can't afford to have a decent life with their spouse and their children, because they're going to mimic and see and do the same things that you've made mistakes in the past. I mean, could you honestly put a price tag on your children not following in the footsteps where you're at today?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and those ready to make a real deposit into their fitness, family, finances, faith, and fun. All right. So, what is the STB locker room? It's a proven system that combines training, nutrition, mindset, and community. Okay. Tonight, we're offering lifetime access to a brotherhood of men just like you. Training plans built for your age, lifestyle, and goals. Nutrition that works with your real life, right? Accountability and coaching that keeps you consistent. And tools like the STB tracker, live Zooms, the MyZone, challenges, and support to make sure you never fall off, right? So how does it work? Yeah.
I got to be honest with you. If you've been doing this alone, or you've, went with a buddy to Planet Fitness, you go to the Purple and you've been doing this off and on and you haven't really got anywhere. It's like, could you actually imagine, how much easier it would be to stay consistent if you had a team of guys checking in on you every week?
Right. Absolutely. So how does it work? 3 steps to unstoppable. Do the work, simple, sustainable fitness plus nutrition, right? Because it's mainly nutrition. Win the day. You use the tracker, join the live Zooms, check in with the team, and be relentless. Mindset tools, group accountability, and coaching so you never fall off again, right? So why does it work so well? Because we don't treat you like a before and after photo. We build real men. Most programs are going to ignore your life responsibilities, right? I mean, I've downloaded quite a few PDFs in my time from people selling them for $97 to $397, and it's like, okay, when am I supposed to get this all done? And
Who's
I'm
who all
fading.
here has seen the ads, and who all here has seen certain local gyms or somebody who's bought a product and becomes a coach all of a sudden, and they're having these challenges, these 6-week challenges, and whoever wins, t-shirt and some money or whatnot. Who here's paid attention and notices that the same people are doing those same challenges over and over?
Right.
And a lot of times that coach that's helping you out isn't really in the
Well,
shape that you desire, and I'm just putting it out there.
and I
you
can
know?
honestly say, since you brought it up, I ran 6-week challenges in my gym when I owned the gym. The reason I went online is because I literally had to put everybody in the same box and say, okay, here it is. Here's your training. Here's your nutrition. It's all the same
Yeah.
for every single person. And you're exactly right. The same people that it just kept
Yeah.
circulating, right?
Yeah.
Um,
We had a dear friend the other day. She's like, "Oh yeah, I joined XYZ's. I joined his challenge." And I'm like, "Okay." And I was like, "Man, and they know what I do. You know what I mean? They know what me and Todd do. Hey, I joined the challenge. I gotta cut some of this weight down and all this stuff." It's like, all right, that's cool. Yeah. So when I went into weigh, I had a sweatshirt on. I had shirts underneath it. I had sweats over top of my shorts, over top of my pants, over top the, and it's just like, okay, what are we doing here? You know
right.
what I mean? Like, are we trying to win a challenge, or are we trying to get healthy for the rest of our life?
So we want to help you lead in all 5 pillars, not just fitness. It's fitness, family, finances, faith, and fun. I know we're repeating that, but that's trying to drill it into you that
Yeah.
it's more about it's not about losing the 20 pounds and gaining it back. It's who you it's when you become the leader that you need and your family needs, right? You stop quitting and you become unstoppable. So when is the right time, right? Right now, before you miss another summer, another memory, another chance, right? You've waited long enough. Every day you wait, it gets harder. Okay, so the Summer Shred program is a launch pad. It's not for everybody. It's an intense one. So, but don't let another year pass and still be in the same place next May, right? Never let your fear decide your fate. I love that little quote there. So, everything you need to win for life, right here. Okay, lifetime access to the STB locker room community, literally a $5,000 value. It's a brotherhood of like-minded men, ongoing support, exclusive content. And how would it feel to be finally surrounded by men who get what you're going through and are going after the same goals,
I mean, honestly, what's it worth to you to stop doing this alone?
right? So the 20-day unstoppable program, this is a mindset program where you build discipline and consistency that separates the committed from the quitters.
Yeah, I mean, what would change if you finally develop the habits that actually stick? I mean, honestly, what would you do?
Right? If you had a proven 20-day game plan to build momentum, would you follow it?
I mean, having stopped it, would you feel like if you could follow through for just 20 days and prove it to yourself that you're still capable?
Right? So The next one's going to be the STB Carnivore 101 program. Talked about it a little bit earlier. It's simple but aggressive nutrition protocol that optimizes fat loss, energy, and testosterone.
Sorry, my mic here. Give me a sec. But go ahead.
Yeah, so if you found a way to eat that could boost your energy, strip fat, and keep it off, would you give it 30 days? Like I did this for 30 days. It's not a forever program. I promise you that. You don't have to do it forever. So, and then the WOW is the workout of the week program that we post inside the community every single week. No more guesswork, new workouts weekly to keep progress steady and boredom away. And
there we go.
Yeah,
there we go. Sorry
work.
about that. Yeah, I mean, with the workout of the week, what difference would it make to know exactly what to do every time you train?
Would it help if your workouts were actually built for a man in his 40s instead of made for a 25-year-old gym rat?
I mean, if you think about it, if you gave just one workout a week that helped you get leaner, stronger, more confident, and it's already built for you, so you don't have to think about all that. I mean, would you show up for it?
Next is going to be our 2-time per week live coaching and accountability. It's a huge value. It says $9.97, but honestly, it's probably at least that per year. Live coaching, real-time feedback, and accountability that makes quitting impossible.
Well, I mean, guys, as Coach Todd just said, though, wouldn't it be easier to stay on track if you knew we were checking in on you every week? Like you got somebody there just, right there with you being like, hey, man, how's it going? How's things working? And we can see the results.
Yeah, absolutely. And how often do you actually get to ask your coach questions live, get answers that actually fit your life?
Yeah. I mean, what's the real cost of trying to do that, trying to do this alone again?
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, the difference between this and something that's cookie cutter, that's whether you're 5'3" or 6'3", or whether you're 120 pounds or whether you're 420 pounds, they will plop you in there with him, and they'll do it over and over again as long as you guys swipe your credit card.
Exactly. And so the last couple things we have is a 20% lifetime discount on Set the Bar subs and the MyZone heart rate tracker discount. All right. So you're going to save big on, I wouldn't even say they're premium supplements. They are the best supplements we can actually find on the planet right now.
Yep.
To boost results. And then the MyZone tracks your effort, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We actually just partnered with another company because they did 10 years of testing and intellectual property, and we were not able to pull it up underneath our umbrella. So we did the next best thing, and we developed a partnership, and we branded with them. We said, hey, this is STB certified. Like we talked about with the 5Fs, right? I mean, this is 5F certified. It's good to go, man. So, yeah.
So
Loving it.
so with the supplements, if you got that discount, are you more likely to use them? Probably, right? And with the heart rate tracker, it becomes your accountability partner, right? Don't you think that would keep you pushing hard? I know it has me, like literally. Like,
Hey, it's
I
worked for
push
me
it.
too. I mean, if you're anything like me, I mean, how much more consistent do you think you could be if you had the tools to measure your effort every day? And mind you, when you're using that tracker, we actually put that in a group community as well, and everybody can see your results. So
Yeah.
there's been numerous times, and myself included, Coach Todd, raise your hand if this is you too, where I've actually did a workout at 11:15, 11:20 at night because I wanted to make sure I got it in, and I wasn't going to let everybody else down. I wasn't going to let myself down by not getting it in that day.
So that whole thing is valued at over $64.85, and it is yours with the Summer Shred program for $497, a one-time payment. The entire transformation system, training, nutrition, mindset, support for less than a weekend getaway.
I tell you, $497 can give you the body, energy, mindset to dominate the second half of your life. Is there any reason to not start today?
And really, what would it be worth to finally stop starting over? Like, how much could you save there, right?
Sometimes I feel like we're beating a dead horse, but if you could imagine, all right, take a second. I don't care if you close your eyes or what you want to do, and you fast forward 90 days. And if in 90 days you felt like a new man, leaner, more confident, more energized, wouldn't that be, knowing that those are the results you get, how many times over would you spend that 497? Wouldn't you think that's like the best money you've ever spent, knowing those are the results you would get?
So literally, that's what it takes. So what can you really expect in 30, 60, 90 days? That's what people always say. Well, what's it going to look like? So I like to tell you, in 30 days, you're going to feel the difference: better sleep,
Yeah.
focus, and confidence. In 60 days, you're going to see the difference. Friends, coworkers are going to start asking what you've been doing, right? They're going to be like, dude, are you working out? I love that. I like walking into a place and they're like, you work out, don't you? I get that pretty much everywhere I go now. I didn't get that so often when I weighed 285 pounds, right? And then in 90 days, you're in control. It takes time, guys, to
Yeah.
really, and we do the small things every single day over and over. Roger's in here doing it. Woody's in here doing it day after day after day. But after 90 days, you're in control. You're leading yourself, and you become unstoppable. It takes at
Yeah.
least 90 days to set that in stone. And I always tell people, after 90 days of showing up, living by the code, it becomes harder to not live by the code than it is to live by it. So,
Well,
um,
I'll be honest, guys. All this sounds great, and I'll be the bearer of bad news. Coach Todd, he's 100% on track with that, but we're only opening this up for 20 spots. I mean, this is not for everybody. Because if it was for everybody, if people were that dedicated, everybody else was that dedicated, this would be a no-brainer. It'd be super, super easy, right? But this is not for everybody. This is for somebody who wants to commit now. We're only opening 20 spots for serious men who are ready to finally commit, do something different, and make a change. I mean, if that's you, could you picture yourself being one of the 20 men who completely changes their life this summer?
yeah, I mean, what if you wait and miss the 20 spots, right? And you're stuck watching other guys transform while you stay stuck again.
Dude, that would honestly piss me off if I missed the boat. I'm
Yeah, right.
pardon my French, but that would drive me crazy that I didn't take action. But if you want in and you're serious, what's stopping you from locking in your spot today?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can't wait to see you guys on the inside. That's going to be it for tonight's Monday Night Live. We've got the quote of the week, though, because we can't forget that. The man who
Yep.
conquers himself is unstoppable. And that's what the STB locker room community is all about.
Yep.
Conquering yourself. It's not about being better than Coach Denny or better than me or better than Woody or Roger or Matt. It's about conquering yourself so that you can become the best possible version of yourself. So www.stblockerroom.com/summer shred. I tried to share it, but it didn't go for some reason.
It's all right. And I love that last quote because so many times, Coach Todd, he's in NCAA football champion 2 times over.
Yeah.
As cool as that is, you're not going to match that. I'm not going to match that. I'm 6'3" and change. I got a German body. Like genetically, if you're 5'3", and you can lift a Pinto off your buddy if it fell off the jacks, we're just not built the same. So our goals should be different, right? We can both push to the best of our abilities with what we have. And that's our goal for you guys. We will never put you guys in a cookie cutter. We will always try to get you guys to where you need to be so that you can conquer your life and have the best 2025, best year you've had in the last. How many times have you heard, oh man, I haven't seen this since, and it's always a 15 or a 30-year gap. We want that to be you. Okay.
Absolutely. So thanks for joining us tonight. We're grateful for you. Remember, we live by a code: do the work, win the day, be relentless, and we're going to dominate on 3.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Dominate. God bless. Much love. Peace out.
Peace out.